Hey guys, this is Mr. H. I am doing question number 31 from the January 2026 Algebra 1 Regents exam. It's a word problem and they want us to graph a quadratic function, and they've got a couple questions for us to answer. So my rule is whenever they give you a quadratic, you're going to be graphing this. And in this case, we are going to have to come up with the graph. All right, so we got a rocket that was launched from the ground into the air. The initial velocity is 80 feet per second. The path of the rocket can be modeled by this function, h of t equals a negative 16 t squared plus 80 t, where t represents the time after the rocket has been launched, and then h of t represents the height of the rocket at any given time. Sketch the function on the thing below. Now, this is a key word. It says sketch. What they're saying is that it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to have some aspects. There has to be a little bit precision, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, now here's the x-axis, time in seconds. Here's the y-axis, right? So now all I'm going to do is get my calculator and I'm going to go. Now, this is what the calculator normally looks like. It goes from a negative 10 to a positive 10. 6 points, about 6.7 to a negative 6.67. Guys, don't laugh. But I don't want this. I don't want this stuff over here. I just want the first quadrant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to use these. So this is 120. This is 7. I'm going to make my calculator window look like this so that I don't have to worry about anything. So first thing I'm going to do is go menu and then 4 for window. And then I'm going to manually set it. So the maximum or the minimum is going to be 0. The maximum for x, I'll leave it at 10. This is the one that I really need to focus on. So let me go back. This one. All right, so I'm going to make this 0. And then I'm going to make this, let's say, I'm going to make it 150. Even though it only goes up to 120, I like to see a little extra. So here's what my window looks like. I'm going to even pull it over a little bit so we can see the x and y axis. Now, from here, I'm just going to go to the function. I'm going to enter the function. Now, remember, you can only graph x's here. You can't graph t. So even though it has t, you're going to have to make it an x. So there's going to be 16x squared plus 80x. And then I'm going to graph it. Press enter. Now there's my graph. And what they want to know, let's go to the questions. They want to know how many seconds will it take for it to reach its maximum and what's the maximum height. So basically they want the vertex. They want us to find the vertex. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go menu. I'm going to go menu, analyze the graph, and I want the maximum. So I'm going to start on the left and I'm going to pull it all the way to the right and it'll find the maximum. So it's telling me that the maximum occurs at 2.5, 100. Now I need a couple more points so I can actually sketch the graph. So what I like to do is I'm just going to do menu 61. Here is a 0, 5, 0, and then this one over here is 0, 0. I'm going to get one more point. So I'm going to do menu 51. And then I'm going to type in, let's type in 1. See what we get. Oops, what happened? Let's type in 1 and see what we get. So it's going to be 164. So I'll take that point. Now, if I know this is 164, that means this is going to be 364 because I can use the symmetry. So I've got enough points to do some damage. So let's go to the graph paper and try our best to plot these points. So I know this is going to be a point right here. I know there's going to be a point right here. I'm going to go to 2.5, 100, which is right here. And then I'm going to do 164. So 50, 60. So it's going to be somewhere in here. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. So now, once I get that, I'm going to try my best to draw a nice parabola. Boom. There you go. And this is 2.5, 100. So how many seconds will it take to reach the maximum? Well, seconds, it's going to be 2.5. So 2.5 seconds. And then what's the maximum height? Well, it looks like I reached 100 feet. That was the maximum height the rocket reached. Boom, done. Now, if they said, how long will it take for the rocket to hit the ground? We would use this 0. How long? It would be 5 seconds. All right. That's it, guys. That's usually when you're using this parabolic motion. That's all you're looking for. Usually look for the max, look for the zeros. Sometimes the y-intercept is important because that tells you the height that the rocket or the initial projectile was launched from. But that's it. The key is make sure you try to use the window to help you determine what you need to set yours up as. And then we're looking for the vertex, so menu 63 in this case. And then I just found a couple other points. So this one was a little longer, but hopefully it's been useful. I'm going to stop and post.